Meditations on Soul Consciousness, Day 1. Imagine being stuck in a room for 16 hours and watching 30,000 people stream in. Each visitor that comes into your space demands your attention, some more forcefully than others. All these people hurling messages at you represent your thoughts. We have on average 30,000 of them every day passing through our mind. Some linger and deeply affect us for a very long time. Others are swift and wispy and extremely hard to pin down. This is our ordinary mind. It's fast and it's busy. Most of us feel that we're not choosing the contents of our mind. It feels as though thoughts just happen, which is uncomfortable. Yet we can break free of being imprisoned in a mind swirling with thoughts beyond our control. Beyond the busy mind is the higher self. We just need to learn the trick of slowing down our thoughts enough to rise above into that higher state of being, into a calm and freeing experience. When we experience our higher nature, we feel naturally much kinder and more compassionate. So of course we start to like ourselves more and feel more comfortable in our own skin. And a deeper form of happiness builds inside. To experience this, we first need to know how to slow down the frantic pace of mind-generated thoughts. So that's what we'll do in this first meditation. We'll start by practicing a form of mindfulness, the kind observer of our thoughts. The most important aspect of this is to practice watching your thoughts with a kind presence. That inner kindness towards ourselves helps us feel at ease. This means being aware of any critical tone your inner voice may have and changing it to a kinder one. Whenever we speak kindly and compassionately to ourselves on an inner level, we turn on a feeling of inner peace. But for this to really work, we have to accept our own kindness, as if it was given to us by a good friend. And as with all soul-conscious meditations, try to keep your eyes open while practicing. It will keep your mind alert and on track. Turn your focus away from the sights and sounds around you for a moment, and instead, turn your attention to what's happening inside your mind. Spend the next few minutes just watching your thoughts. Whatever you see, keep watching it with curiosity, and more importantly, watch it with kindness. Gazing into your mind is a little like gazing into a pond. At first, you only see the surface. If you keep gazing, you see fish swimming below. So it is with your mind. If you keep gazing into it, you will start to see what's happening there. The thoughts that are circulating will gradually come into focus. As you watch, you may notice your attention drifting in and out. One moment, you're observing your thoughts, and the next you're caught up in them again, swept along by a train of thinking. No matter. Just bring your attention back again. It's normal for your attention to drift in and out, so don't chastise yourself when that happens. So for the next few moments, talk to your mind in a really soft and loving voice. Repeat slowly 2 or 3 times. I accept all that I see in my mind without any judgment. I am the observer now, the kind, loving observer. Speak to your mind in this way, but in a manner that works for you, that's natural for you. Try this out now for a few minutes. Observing, accepting what you see, with kindness. As you keep watching, especially with a few kind comments whispered silently to yourself, you may find a change in the atmosphere inside your mind. Don't try too hard for this. Just be open and notice if it happens. Once you get the hang of gazing into your mind and being a kind observer of it, you notice more. Notice your mood. Especially notice any thoughts that may have stirred up some emotion lately. As you gaze, you may even see some persistent thoughts that have been turning over again and again in your mind. They tend to leave an emotional charge behind, like vapor trails planes leave in the sky. The more you gaze, the more thought trails you discern. You may get a sense of how they've influenced your state of mind during the day. Observe all of this with curiosity. If you keep watching with kindness, the reasons why you feel certain emotions may become revealed to you. Don't try too hard for this. Allow insights to arise in their own time. For the next few minutes, enjoy this simple pastime of just watching your thoughts and being as loving and compassionate towards yourself as you can. You're especially looking for emotionally charged thoughts that keep dropping into your mind. When you see them, be kind to yourself. Say something reassuring. See what happens when you do this. As you practice observing your mind, you learn how to slow it down. Add to that, being compassionate about whatever you see will help you feel much more at ease inside yourself. Practice this a couple of times during the day. During a tea break, on the bus. Finding a few moments to practice will make a big difference to your day. After practicing being the kind observer of your mind, you're ready to detach from the chatter of your ordinary thoughts and move into the experience of soul consciousness. We'll explore this in the next meditation. We are on our second week of God's love enables transformation. And as we talked about great detail on what love means and what is the difference between God's love and human love, we'll continue our discussions and see how supreme love enables transformation. So, as always, we will first get started with a short guided meditation. I invite you all to join. Sit comfortably.
Are you able to hear me better now? There's a lot of wind on the window and most likely because of that. Are you able to hear me better? Okay. All right. I'll try to speak up as well and I've shut off the window. Maybe there was a lot of wind there. Okay. Let's try this. There's only one thing. It's not conditioned. Are you able to hear me better now? Okay. All right. That's good. Apologies for those audio issues. He's the only being that can unconditionally give. He doesn't have any calculations, any accounts. He doesn't have any logic on when to give and not give. And because of his unconditionally giving personality, not wanting anything, not seeking anything, everyone is automatically attracted to him. They belong to him. He doesn't want to own anyone, yet each one willingly gravitates towards him. It's like a magnet pulling everyone without even trying. It is the pure love from this being without any selfishness. That causes everyone to be attracted to this one source who's an abundance of love.
Where did he get all of this love from? Well, it's the source. There is only one source of love in this universe that never dries up. Not even for one being. We on the other side, the human souls, our reservoir is limited. We are very conditioned on whom to like and whom to not like. We give up on others. We are biased to few. And that is why not everyone in the universe is attracted towards us. But this source does not do anything to attract everyone. It is naturally the way it is. And how fortunate are we to be part of this universe where there is this beautiful source that doesn't know the business like give and take in relationship. This source teaches us to live a life that is only for others. This source inspires us to give wholeheartedly, to not have any reservations. This source inspires us to lift the ones that have fallen down. In God's eye, everyone is beautiful. Everyone deserves to be helped. In God's eye, there is hope. It's very clear that darkness is temporary to God. And that is why they say truth is beautiful. Because God, the truth, knows that darkness is transient and light is permanent. If the Creator is so beautiful, how fantastic would be its creation? But one wonders, how come the creation is not so beautiful? When we see such darkness in humanity, we start wondering, is the Creator beautiful? Then why is the creation not beautiful? It is this wonderful world drama that has to go through darkness and light, joy and sorrow, love and hatred. And then the source comes, the source of all love, all peace, all joy, comes to once again transform the world drama from darkness to light, from hatred to love, from calculative love to selfless, abundant love. And that is when every soul feels cherished, blessed, to move from that darkness of calculative, artificial love to the light of unlimited, authentic love. God is the one that changes the cycle of time, and a new beginning of the world begins. We are all fortunate to be part of this wonderful world drama where God is the supreme actor and the director. Welcome everyone, and apologies for all that audio issue. I'm glad that it got sorted though. So yes, please continue to post on chat whenever you see such problems. So today's topic, we will focus on what God can do and can't do. Very, very important, because till we understand this part very clearly, till we don't understand God, we can't take his help. Right? Because that wrong beliefs and incorrect understanding is the biggest blocker in us kind of receiving his help. So complete clarity needs to be there. And Meghna, at least must have, if you've come in my previous classes, must have heard me say, I come from a religion where there was no concept of God. But yet, and I grew up in a family where, because of the country where I was brought up, which was in India, and there's so much of, you know, so many gods available, right? They say 33 crore gods are available in India. That many gods are worshipped. So there's also a lot of corruption that occurs in the name of God. So Meghna, wherever she was brought up, there was not so much of good impression on God and God's religion and all of that, right? So, but in spite of that, when this knowledge came to me and that clear understanding of who God is, what he can do, what he can't do, what is his role in this world drama, was just so beautiful, so logical. And don't you know, when Meghna fell in love with this supreme being, and from there, there's been no turning back. So I'd love to share what has helped me a lot, coming from such a background of no God, there's nothing like God, it's all bad, to this place where every moment goes with him, right? With pure love. So first of all, let's start with who is God. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this. To you, who is he, how is he, what is God, right? Whatever your understanding is, if you don't mind sharing, would appreciate that. It could be what you understood before and what you understand now. If you want to share that, that would be wonderful. I know some of you have taken the Raj Yoga meditation course, so you might have the answer. So it's okay to also share what you knew and what you now know. God is nature for me. So by nature, do you mean sun, ocean, mountains? Do you mean that is that what God means to you? Trees and plants, okay? All right. So just, I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. That is the way we've been taught at Brahma Kumaris, because instead of giving all the answers, sometimes when we ask more deeper-ended questions, answer comes from within, right? And the reason, one of the reasons why God can't be animals and plants, because animals and plants, they all decay. Animals can get angry. They can be very violent. Is God violent? Trees and plants, they do die. They are not there forever. Does it mean God perishes? It's a question to ask. That God is spirit. Okay. What else? Would love to hear everyone's idea here. Feel free to raise your hand if you want to speak up about who God is, what God is, how he is, whatever you know. So even in the nature, right, if you see there's so much of changes, right? Like sometimes it's too hot. He's the guide and teacher, very well said, okay. But do you feel him as the guide and teacher? Have you felt his guidance, personal guidance? Have you seen him teach you wonderful lessons? It's more important. Is it practical? In practical life, are you getting teachings, not from books or anything? but directly has one-on-one, has he given you some teachings? That's important. Eternal and permanent truth. Yes. God's existence cannot be questioned, always present. There's not been a moment where God didn't exist. He's the permanent, absolute truth. Permanent truth, so beautifully said, right? Which means at no point of time that truth is not true. It's always permanently true. One is limited truth, right? That this body is called Meghna. It's truth, but it's not permanent truth because this body is going to decay. Meghna name is not permanent. That name is going to decay with the body, right? One day. So it's not permanent truth. It is relative truth, limited truth, but you won't call absolute truth. Meghna is not absolute truth. That is very important to understand. So yes. So another thing about nature, right? Just so that you keep thinking about it. Nature, there are natural calamities. Sometimes the wind is so forceful, can cause so much of violence. Sometimes sun's heat is so much that so many people can die. So if we think God is in nature, does it mean God is fluctuating? God is causing all of these kind of problems? So it's important to have clarity, right? Because if we think nature is God and nature is creating a havoc, nature is causing problem, then does it mean God causes problem? Right? So we can't think of the creation as the creator. That is very important to think. The essence of Meghna, absolute truth. Yes, that is the right word. Thank you. I think God is an energy that guides us. No, he or she. We can choose whatever form we give to God. Very nice. Indeed, God is genderless. There is no question about that. But in this physical world, right? We are living in this physical world. So if you want to take the relative truth, creator is the male is considered to be the creator. And there is no harm. Each one of us, we've been male or females. Soul is genderless. But in order for us to play and experience who we are, the actors, we need to take this costume. A wonderful drama. It has male and female. What's wrong in it? So if you feel uncomfortable, if you want to think God is female, feel free to do that. But for me, God is genderless, but I will still consider him to be he, because in this physical drama, male is the creator. So for me, it is he. Humans are the problem. We'll see who is the problem as such. I would not call ourselves as problem either. The only wrong is always spoken of he, male. Sorry. Yeah, I know. Some of you want to think about it as it's up to you, right? It's up to you, whatever makes you comfortable. For me, I'm genderless. And me calling him he doesn't mean I'm partial to he or I'm partial to she, right? There's no such inside intention. So God, just to quickly revise, right, what all you've said, one is he's unborn. Very important to understand that he's unborn. Unlike human souls, he does not enter the womb. The reason for this is if God also enters the womb, that means he would have to be indebted to those two souls who will sustain. So God is the sustainer. He can't be sustained by anyone. That is beyond him. Then you won't call him God because God also needs support, mother and father. And that is not God. And that is why all of these religious founders, they've all taken sustenance from their mother and father. And that's why we call them great souls, magical souls. But they're not God. They're just messengers of God because they also had to be sustained. They also had to go through the death of the body. Whereas God is deathless, birthless, he is unborn. And thank you, this world drama, for having one actor who's beyond the cycle of life and death, who can always remember everything and take us from this amnesia to awakening, right? Otherwise, we would all be sleeping. So there's one soul who never sleeps by coming into this cycle of life and death. Krishna was God, but he was born. Well, this is again something to think about, right? Like, again, for everything, you are always use your own logical reasoning as you want. But it's important to ask our own selves. Someone that is being sustained cannot be God. Not only that, Krishna also needed a teacher to learn things, right? Because once a baby is born, they don't know anything. They need a teacher, they need a guru, they need parents, they need so much support. Does God need support? And would Krishna be called as God by everyone? One of the biggest important thing is everyone should recognize that one as God. Muslims will not recognize Krishna. Christians will not recognize Krishna. Krishna will be recognized by many souls in India, but not everywhere. And that is what defeats the condition, because God is one. He would be recognized by all. He is the supporter of all. He would never take support. That is why it is so important. God is just this tiny point of light, does not have a human form. The second is truth. We already talked about this, absoluteness. Truth is something that is unrefutable at any given point. It doesn't change. It is imperishable, changeless. The biggest thing is truth can be hidden. It will be revealed in its own time, but it will certainly be revealed. And when it is revealed, its beauty is recognized by all. That is the absolute truth. And we've seen that in history also many times, right? And then the third point is unlimited. He's the only one who never dries up, right? That's why God is always associated with ocean. The analogy used to describe God is ocean. Rivers dry, lakes and ponds, wells, all of them dry, but ocean doesn't dry. At least we've not seen it yet, right? In this entire time we've been around, or the history we have available, we've never seen oceans dry. God is one being who's able to understand him and who's able to connect to him. They will always follow him, find him to be love, find him to be joy. And this is Meghna's personal experience many times. In this birth, this soul who's now taken the birth of Meghna, she's made many blunders. Even after coming to the spiritual practice, many mistakes. Some of them, Meghna's personality has been very straightforward and at times blunt. And Meghna has hated herself for, being blunt or rude. She immediately recognized she felt bad. She's also gone and apologized wherever needed. And so many times she'd go and sit in front of God and say, what is this? Why do I make these blunders? You must be hating me, right? I don't think I can reach out to you now because I've made such a big mistakes. And I'd always see that pull. I'd always see that new thoughts being planted into me to see it in a different angle. And it's been so touching, the way he helps and the way he makes you feel special in spite of whatever you might have done. So one thing that Meghna's character has had is honesty, telling what happened as is. And God loves honesty because he is truth. What is there to hide? Someone who's truth, who knows the entire truth of me. Every little detail Meghna has done, not that he's tracking it, but someone who's so pure, they have the power. The moment they look at you, they'll know everything about you. Not that God misuses that, but he will know it just so that he can help me. He can't give the same solution what is given to me to others because it will not work. He knows the challenges I have. So his solution is the ointment that will work for me and me alone. For someone else, it will be a different ointment. So he is unlimited, whose things never dry. He's the highest on high. There can't be someone who's higher than him. Most important, God is one. He's ever pure. There's not a point when God's mind or heart had a dirty thought or a dirty feeling. Whereas human beings, we all know our minds and heart go through all kinds of ups and downs, right? All of us, nobody can say here, I've never had one bad thought. Nobody can say that. But God, he is ever pure. And So thankful for this world drama to have one such a beautiful soul who can then be the liberator, the purifier, the guide, the bestower. And we will see these are big words, but we will see in practical terms what does this mean, right? We will continue to see. In what form does God give his love? Anybody who might have practically experienced it, I would love to hear if you want to unmute and speak up in a minute. That would be nice, like a short response or on the chat. Your personal experience of God, how has he helped you? Not the bookish knowledge, but in the personal front, if any one of you have experienced it. So I'm reading a comment here from Joanne. I agree with you, Meghna, with this description, but I always come up with, when asked to describe God, that I say nature, animals. Oops. Okay. No, it's all good, right? Meghna didn't even know who God was. She always believed that there is some one big power, that power that is really good and very kind and all of that. So that much was her understanding, but she had no understanding other than that. Most of it was all wrong. Courage and strength. Yes, absolutely. Man, how many blunders Meghna has made, or how many times she's been in fear of how will all this happen. Just um, 2 days back, like suddenly on Meghna's plate, a lot of things fell, at home front, and then especially at a lot of charitable things that she's involved in, a lot of that volunteering stuff, so many things came on, and one of them was something that she's not done always. She had to do something that she's not done always, and all of the fear in the mind was created. And I was sitting with the Supreme, with God, and telling him all the things that are going on. Like, I have to do this, I have to do that. And he's like, what do you mean you have to do? You have to do nothing. All you have to do is be with me. And I told him, these fears are coming up that I've not done this ever. You have to be there with me. You have to do it, right? So this was my conversation. And the next day when I woke up, as if I had not even created fear, as if I don't even have anything. It's in such high energy. I was like magic, just sharing with him, having conversation. I felt he filled me up. Gives you peace when we feel that it's God giving us love. Very good. Gives you peace, unconditional love. Very good, right? So once you start having those personal experiences with him, right? Many times, Meghna is suddenly feeling either jealousy, or she's feeling hatred, or she's feeling this, right? She's very honest. She'll go and tell everything. Hey, I've given you my heart. I've given you my mind. Here, look at what's in your mind. Look what's in your heart, right? I talk to him like this. What is this dirt sitting in your heart? I gave it to you, right? Look at this. You are the supreme purifier. You are the supreme cleanser. Come on, you have to clean it up, right? So I'll demand him, but obviously I listen to his demands too. So one is indeed guidance. He shows the right path to liberation, um, liberation from sorrow. He shows the exact path you need to take. So I'll share one example here. There's one of the relatives with whom I was having challenges, right? Rather close relative. And I was having personal conversation. And if I would have spoken to any friend, any relative, everyone would have said, Meghna, you are so right. This relative is so wrong, right? In this worldly language, if anybody would have known my story, they would have all said, Meghna, you're right. Why should you bend anymore? This person is wrong, right? But I didn't talk to anyone. That's not Meghna's. Luckily, Meghna doesn't have that habit of talking to everyone. She talked to the Supreme. And she was 100% sure Supreme would say, Meghna, you're right. This person is wrong. You should do this. But no, I got the guidance that he's not right. That, that relative is not, he is right. The relative is right. You need to work around it. And I was a little bit shocked by that response. And I said, okay, God is truth to me. God is the only benefactor to me. So I said, okay. And I started like, okay, I have to adjust, I have to accommodate. And I started changing. And within a day, I realized what were my problems, how this person was right and I was wrong. So his guidance is not like the usual guidance because he can see a lot clearer. The one who is truth and pure, their mind is absolute silence. They have full clarity. In their heart, there is no dirt and there is no bias. So unbiasedly, he can tell you, this is what God's magic is, that he's unbiased. He has complete clarity. And on top of it, he wants to benefit you. And for me, after that, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to only come to you and nobody else. Discerning potential. Yes. What should we do to get this guidance? All right, we will talk about this as well. But first is to know him, right? Last time said, what do you do to receive God's love? You need to know him. And all of these things we're talking about, God is not a human being. God is not nature. God is not everywhere. God is in nirvana, the supreme abode, the sky above the physical sky, nirvana. He is the point of light, invisible, just like the soul. The soul and the supreme soul, the form is exactly the same. There is no difference in it. Then support, right? 24/7. If this has happened to me a lot of times due to health related issues, Meghna wouldn't be able to sleep. And Meghna's never had problems in sleeping. But it happens, right? Health goes up and down. Any time in the night you get up, he's there to entertain you. He's there to talk to you. I'll sit and tell, what is wrong with your body? Because body is also his. Everything is his, right? In Brahma Kumaris, we're taught, give everything to him. Don't keep anything that is burdensome. And this body is big burden, constantly fluctuates. So anything that changes, something that is not always good, give it to him so that he can make it good all the time. So I talked to him saying, what is wrong with your body? Why would you give me this kind of a body that keeps falling sick? Huh? I can't even sleep now. What am I supposed to do? Have an entertaining relationship with him. And sometimes when your mind is very clear and your heart is very clean, sometimes, right, we don't keep so much attention on us on what kinds of negative thoughts we have and what kind of negative feelings are emerging in heart. We become one with those thoughts and feelings when we are not attentive. Such times we are not able to catch his thoughts and feelings for us. So that's why his support is available. Like, for example, Meghna has also worked in a company where she had to travel at least 4 times in a year, and she's been to all kinds of countries. Like she's been to Bogota, which is not that unsafe. Then she's been to this Central America. I'm forgetting the name of those, near Guatemala, and there's another country there. So I've been to those cities, which was not very safe. And Meghna, being not that careful, she's generally had a careless personality too. She didn't know where to go and what to do. And she was like just thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to get a cab here and go? This people, they all speak Spanish. Doesn't seem like anything that I know. What am I going to do? I was just thinking, and just then someone comes and talks to me. Meghna, they didn't say Meghna, sorry. They said, you're looking for taxi support, right? Like right there, you can come. It's an official taxi, which is all of this and this and this. I was like, wow, this person talking to me in English and coming and going, right? So I go to that office and everything is like properly tracked and everything. I get a taxi and go. And I was like, this is what is called 24/7 support. Constantly being able to connect and his guidance coming to you, right? And then companionship, offload. And I've been talking about offloading everything to him. Any relationship at work that is bothering me, or they're not bothering me, but I am bothered by them, right? Suppose somebody's personality is disturbing me, they're fine. This has also happened to Megha. We have that problem also where others don't like us, but also I've had chances where I don't like, right? Not me, actually. The soul always likes, but Meghna doesn't like few people. So I'll again interact with Supreme and say, hey, you are ever loving, you're ocean of love, I'm your child, I'm an exact replica of you. What is going on? Why is this Meghna constantly saying they're not good, they're like this, they're just too artificial, they're just too polite, they're too sweet? Meghna doesn't like all that, right? So Meghna's mind starts talking. And I start talking with the Supreme. See what is your mind saying? See what this Meghna is saying? The soul is like you, right? So I give everything that is coming, which is not like God. I am like God. I am always love, always peace. So anytime I see any disturbance in me, I will give it to him. I will offload to him. Okay, you felt that guidance too. That's wonderful. Renu, yes, please let me just unmute you. Then you should be able to. Yeah, you should be able to talk, unmute now.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. What you wanted to talk to me, please?
I
Who
think
said?
you raised your hand, so that's why I unmuted you.
Oh,
Did you have a question?
Okay. Oh, you know what? I was thinking that you asked me how to know the God. I said when I feel very happy, that means it's God talking to me, and is God in me. Am I right?
Well, God is not in any one of us, right? God is his own personality. Not, I would say, not his own individual self. He's an individual being. He's not in us. But yes, maybe when we are feeling joy, we feel like equal to him.
So like when I feel happy, isn't it? It is God who is in me. Oh, you are saying not God is not in me.
No, God is not in you.
We
If
are
you're,
God.
yeah, our nature is happiness. We also can be happy. That doesn't mean God is in us. Then we get sad. That means then God is gone from us. He comes and goes in us.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. So his main role is to emerge the hidden best in us by shining the light on our truth. That is his main role. God's main role is that. And we will see deeper and deeper understand how he is and what kind of role he plays. Is there any criteria to receive God's love? If so, what is that criteria? It's like one of you asked, how do we receive that kind of support and love? What is that criteria to receive God's love? Now I'm asking that question. So if you could all share your responses. To be open to it. Very nice. First thing is, am I open? Do I have faith that I can receive God's love? First of all, do I have belief that there is God, that his love is always available? Am I open for it, to ask for it? Most important, do I even need to ask someone who's ocean love, who knows when I need love? Do I need to even ask? Do your 100% and surrender to him. Wonderful. That's very good. If you don't mind explaining what surrender to him is, just in simple words, practical words, so that we can all kind of imbibe it. What does surrender mean to him? What is the biggest thing we can surrender? Surrender means give, right? Give to him. What is it that we should give to him? Our ego. Very nice. Very nice. And the biggest ego is sitting in our intellect. I know what is right, what is wrong. I should have known better. The intellect that we use, right, to understand, to discriminate, to make decision, that is the thing. If you give it to God, ego is gone. That I have to think, I have to make decision, I think this is better, I think this is unfair. All of that understanding we have to give away, because human understanding is limited. If I want God's love and God's support, I certainly have to Be open to what he has to say. You can certainly tell God, like when I went to Supreme multiple times, when I'll go, nowadays it's not so much where I'll say, this is my opinion. What I will say is, Meghna's mind is saying all of this. I don't trust that mind at all. I want to know what you have to say. Because his understanding is very, very unique, unheard of. It is something that you will not find in any books. No human being will talk like him. His solution is magical. It's unfound in today's world. That is Meghna's personal experience many times. The guidance he gives you is just out of the world. It won't be anything ordinary. So the one thing indeed that I have to give up is that. In addition to that is that conviction, like Joanne already said, that first of all, you need to have full faith that he is always love, and that his love is present for all, ever present. It's not like, in this world, most of the people, most of the books have made God very inaccessible. That you have to become pure, that you have to become this. If you are a robber, you can never achieve God. Or if you've done this, you can't achieve God. You have to go to 100 pilgrimages. You have to do this kind of prayers. You have to do this kind of devotion. You have to fast yourself. You have to torture yourself. People are doing all kinds of things. The one who is ever loving, will he want to ever torture his kids? Or whoever is trying to reach him? Would he make them work so hard? Oh, you have to sing his praises. You have to give $100,000 in his temples and churches. Absolutely. What will the poor people do? They don't have that kind of money. That means God is inaccessible to him or her, the poor people. I don't know how to sing devotional songs, especially there in India. There's like one language, Sanskrit, which is a very difficult language. There's you have to say all the slokas, like all the mantras in that difficult language. I don't know. I don't know the language, and I find it very difficult. Does it mean God is inaccessible to me? I can't hit myself with chains. That's too much pain for me. Does it mean God is not accessible to me? I don't know how to fast and not eat food for one whole day. Does it mean God is not accessible to me? I have lied few times. I've not always been nice. Does it mean God is not accessible to me? This is one fundamental problem in this world, that God has become so far, because everybody has created this kind of a illusion that God is inaccessible. You need deep penance and deep this and all of that effort. Then also God won't be, you might not be able to reach God. It is only when he comes and gives his introduction that it is fully clear that he's the most accessible being, except you need to know. The other part of it is that when he comes and gives his knowledge, by then, human mind is it that speak of its chaos, of impurity. There is extreme distraction, confusion in human mind. So a lot of times, like Meghna cannot feel his presence. Even though I'm saying everything to him, I'm being open and honest, I can't catch anything that he's saying. That mind has become so loud. On certain days, mind is very loud and distracted. That doesn't mean he's not there. That doesn't mean he's not listening. He will try his own way. He will catch hold of one human being and send to you, which happened to me. Like I talked about one airport example. There are so many. One other day, Meghna was tired, and I've shared this example, I think, in the past. Meghna was tired, and whenever she's tired and her body is especially tired, she gets irritable, right? She knew about that. So Meghna said, okay, I'm going to take care. Body is getting tired. I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to talk to anyone. And I was telling the Supreme, Baba, you be with me. I don't want to get upset anyone. I don't want to be irritated with anyone. I'm like you, right? Ever loving, ever peaceful. Be with me. I was telling him, be with me. Right then my daughter comes down and says, Mom, you need help? What do you need help with? And I'm like amazed. I didn't, obviously, if I called her for help, she would have come. But I didn't. She's never ever come and said, Mom, can I help you today? What can I help you with? So Even though I couldn't feel his presence, I couldn't hear what he was saying, he is able to hear you because he's ever pure. So never give up that, oh, he's not helping. His help is miraculous. Once you maintain conviction that he is there to support you, your patience will come, your courage to do the right thing will come, and you will certainly see. So it's also a test paper for you. How much conviction do you have? He tests you. Let me see. Meghna is how much conviction does she have in me? Or is she going to fall into the traps of her impure mind, that mind that starts saying, oh, see, God has also given up on you. So when you are tireless in your effort, in your conviction, that attention, that what is the mind saying about God? Is he trying to tell me God is also not, God is also biased? Are you giving up? Are you trying to use some human support? No, I was not going to ask for help. So he himself sent that help. Reading the chat, very important points. Remember him constantly, always in everything you say and do. Yes. Tireless in conviction. Yes, it is important, right? Then the last but not the least is honesty. When I am dishonest, right? Whenever I'm trying to be politically right and trying to say some good things about the other person that I want to complain, but inside I still feel that they are so wrong, they're so artificial, they're so this, right? Tell everything to the Supreme. That I know in your eyes everyone is innocent, but this mind of mine, this heart of mine is calling them mean, is calling them artificial, is calling them a liar. This is my problem. Be very open, because when you are not open, you can't catch his voice. You can't catch his support, because his support comes with full honesty and purity. So the one who's being dishonest, even though God is trying to send support, will not be able to catch it. If you think about it, actually nothing is a criteria to receive his love. His love is present for all. But I won't receive it. He's sending his love. But if you, like, sun is there, right? And if you shut off all the windows, you put some black curtains, that sun is not going to come inside the house because you've blocked it. It's the same thing. If you block it by saying, oh, God's help is anyways not available. He's also always nice to only people who are saint-like. He doesn't like people like me who's not saint-like. I don't like to do all this devotion, so he doesn't like me. And this is called putting a black curtain and saying sun is not coming inside. No. He is always present. He's always trying to reach out. So don't give up, because it's our own beliefs, it's our own weaknesses that block God's love, which is like the pure sunlight, right? So whenever we stray away from truth and lose conviction in ourselves or in him, then that love becomes elusive to us. Even though it is present, we can't feel it. It doesn't reach us because we have blocked it. With integrity, yes. With integrity, connect with him. So coming to the slide, what can God do and can't do? Love to hear in one sentence what you think he can do and not do. And if you want to speak up, feel free to raise your hand. Anyone? He can do everything. We have to be open to his answers and maintain patience. Okay. Can he do everything? Can he make a dead person alive? He cannot erase our karma. Okay. Why doesn't he not erase our karma? That's a good point. Why does he not erase our karma? So, to make us better, that is true. To some extent, that's true. So let's, in the interest of time, I'll go forward. He cannot change my story. In this world drama, Meghna, the role, right, the entire role that she's playing, is not going to sit and intervene so that Meghna's family gets better, Meghna's job gets better, Meghna's financial accounts get better, Meghna's body gets better. He doesn't intervene, because then God would be called biased, that he's intervening, right? And if God intervened, then his kind of world would be everybody would have equal amount of wealth, equal amount of good relationship. That would be his intervention, because God is the most fair being. If he intervened, then this world would be world of equality. But that's not his role. This world drama has this beautiful variety of everything. There is a beauty in this inequality. It's only when we understand it at a higher level that there is if you look at the bird's vision, the highest vision, there is no inequality. Each soul who might have been a beggar this birth must have been a billionaire at some other point of the drama. So every soul is getting to play either the role of a beggar or a millionaire. It's not that they've always played the role of a beggar or they've always played the role of a terrorist. They've always played the role of a saint. You've gotten a variety. You've gotten a variety of good roles, bad roles, so that the soul can experience everything. So if you look at that higher vision in God's vision, there is equality even in this drama, where right now we feel everything it is unequal. So his interest is in the actor, the soul. He's not looking at Meghna, what she does, what she doesn't do. He's looking at the actor, the soul. He will not intervene in karma, like Surinder said. He doesn't intervene in karma. He doesn't erase it because to make us better, right? The reason is, again, that if he erases my karma, then how do I learn from it? And I will feel that kind of dependency on God, right? Like, oh, I've done another bad karma. Can you please erase it? Then I become dependent on God. Versus he teaches me. He teaches me what is the right karma. He tells me if you don't do the right karma, what will happen? If you do the right karma, what will happen? He gives the entire knowledge. He gives me the pen to write my destiny. That pen is karma. He tells me what karma, what actions, karma means actions, what actions will charge you up, will empower you, and what karma will destroy you. He gives full clarity. And if you tell God, I know this is the right karma, I don't have the strength, then he will charge you up. He'll say, okay, in my name, do these small, small things. He will show you a path that you can actually move forward with. He will not give you a solution that you can't do. He will only give you a solution that you can do. That's why that one-on-one connection with Supreme, where you can get that guidance that will be applicable to you, that will be digestible to you, is important. So he doesn't intervene in the cycle of karma, but he helps the soul come out of that cycle of suffering, the cycle of give and take, right? Some souls I've given, so I have a credit. Some souls I've taken, so I have a debit. And we are in that circle, constantly clearing our debts. He helps the soul come out of it and say, you now onwards only do good karma. He shows that path. And the third thing is, he doesn't give joy, nor does he punish. This is very important. He doesn't give joy. Joy cannot be given by anyone. but he shows the path to be ever joyful like him. Joy is something that cannot be given. Sorrow is not something that can be given. It is the creation of the mind. So God teaches us how to mentor that mind so that you can always be joyful. He never punishes, but it is the law of this world drama. These are incognito laws that exist in this world. One is the cognito, which is the judicial laws, the tax laws, the government laws. Those are all cognito. We know about it. Incognito are the spiritual laws of karma. The kind of seed you sow, so you shall reap. So he doesn't punish, but it is the part of this world drama. These subtle laws, incognito's law, they're all the time running, magically running, and they will do the job they had to do. Nobody can escape these laws. They are inescapable, indestructible. If you have done good, nobody can prevent that good from coming back to you. And if you have done bad, nobody can stop that bad from coming to you. But the one who starts performing actions towards God, even if that bad comes back to me, it will not touch me, because the soul is so empowered by those good karma that the return of the bad karma doesn't touch the soul. That is the power of God's love. So these are all the things that God can't do. Any questions on this? Any questions on what God can't do? Okay. So what he can do, right? It's important. We talked about the don't, now we talk about the do's. So he awakens the soul. He tells the soul of the beginning, middle, and end of your journey. We've all taken many, many births, right? It's not one or two births. We've taken many births. Most of us have taken many births. So in that birth, how was your beginning? What happened in the middle? What happened in the end? He tells the entire story in an essence-full form. He'll not give you gory details of every birth. What was your name? Who were your parents? What religion? What gender? He's not going to give you those gory details. But he tells you an overall summary of what happened in the beginning. And as a result, when we know the soul's story, world story is going to be like the soul story. So soul starts its journey beautiful, ends its journey with lot of ugliness. That's how the world has become. When all the people living in the world are not feeling that joy, obviously that world is not a joyful place. So he awakens the soul. And then the second is guiding the soul. We've talked about this to some extent, so I'm not going to go into the depth of it, but he guides the soul towards liberation. So he shows the path. He doesn't give joy, he doesn't give peace, he doesn't give like like the powers or anything, but he shows you the path, what you can do. And this is God's magical method, right? That's why the soul doesn't become dependent on God. Every time I have to feel joy, oh my gosh, I have to look up to God. No, his teachings are such that you on your own keep doing that and you feel that joy. That's why his is the only support that makes the soul independent. Whereas human support makes us dependent, makes us weak. God is the only support that empowers the soul. He is 24/7 available, whether you want him as a friend, as your beloved, as your child. I've never thought God as my child, but I have practiced that. So every time I make food, first thing I do is I offer it to him because he's my child. He needs to be fed first. Take his purity vibrations into the food. That's when the whole family eats. Make it in his remembrance. The entire kitchen is make sure that it's completely clean. First clean environment, clean inside. Cook it in that intoxication that I'm cooking for the Supreme, my beautiful child. And his entire family of children are going to eat that wonderful food. And then the entire family consumes it. So powerful. What do we want to transform? Just will last one more slide after this, and then we will stop. I know we are over. What is it that we want to transform? So this title is God's Love Enables Easy Self-Transformation, right? What is it that we want to transform with God's love? My ego, my life, the world. Okay, many things. So want to be more soul connected. Okay, but you are a soul. You are a soul. But you want to be connected to who you are, I see. Okay. This is very important to have the clarity on what I want to transform, because without that, very difficult to make transformation happen. Even though God is giving you a lot of support, you won't be able to transform if you don't have the clarity of what needs to be transformed, right? So the right effort comes with right understanding. So what we want to transform is, we want to transform attitude, emotion, habits, and our personality, right? Typically we'll say, I have a lot of negative attitude, or maybe I have one emotion of stress a lot, or maybe I have a habit of watching a lot of TV before going to sleep. Could be anything. There are a lot of these things that we want to transform. So, and who is the self we want to transform? Sorry, one more slide and then we should be done. Who is the self we want to transform? One is what we want to transform. Who is that self we want to transform? In whom are these habits, emotions, personality traits that we want to transform? The small self, the soul, consciousness, the body. So most important, if there is the aim to transform the body, right? Like, who is the self we want to transform? Generally, body, what do you want to make it more healthy, more beautiful? And when we think I want to transform my role as a mother, or my role as a program manager, or my role as a friend, then aim is to transform relatives, and to be more loving. So everything starts changing based on who I want to transform. Or if I want to transform the role, maybe I'm playing the role of a chef, or maybe I'm playing the role of a nurse. The aim is to transform all the things that are connected with that role, to maybe make it more reputed, to be maybe make it more respectful, inner self. Okay. Indeed, it's the real thing that we want to transform is the self-awareness. That self-awareness that needs transformation, because the true self is already beautiful. The real me, the absolute me, is already perfect and flawless. But the perception I have about myself is wrong. My awareness of who I am is wrong. That is the part that needs. There's a huge difference between changing who you are versus what your perception of the self is. There's a huge difference. If I myself have to change, it's a lot of work. But if I am already perfect, all I need to do is remove the filter through which I'm seeing. I'm actually pure gold, but I'm using a red glass eye, red glass mirror, or sorry, red glass glasses to see myself. Then I will not find myself to be gold, I'll find myself to be red. And I'm saying I have to make this red to gold, I have to make this red to gold. No, you have to remove that glass you're wearing. Then you'll see you're already gold. That is the God's method. He doesn't say you are this, you are bad, you have so many dirty habits, you are this. He never says all that. He says you're exactly like me, wake up. So that is the biggest thing. So with that, I would like to ask you all this question, and I would hope you would be able to share it. Which incorrect, and this will help us in preparing the material for the next 2 classes. Which incorrect self-awareness do you want to transform? In that awareness, it could be certain habits, certain attitudes, certain emotions, that whole awareness of what you think you are. It could be either angry Meghna, I want to transform, right? What is that incorrect self-awareness that you have about yourself that you want to transform? So the next 2 classes, we can make the material of the class to be more custom to your needs. So if you'd like to share, that would be nice. On the chat, if you could share which incorrect self-awareness do you want to transform? Lack of confidence, okay. Negative thinking, yeah, that's a big one, right? Okay. Anybody, anything else? Anger, okay. Not knowing what all I'm capable of, okay. All right. If I'm the soul, I'm powerful and knowledgeable, but many times I don't feel that. Okay, you don't feel that power and the knowledge. Okay, so that's the incorrect self-awareness that you are struggling with. Very good. Thank you for all of this. And we'll try our best to see how we can lust, anger, greed, jealousy, and pride. Okay. That's a whole lot of all kind of negativity, but that's true. It exists in us. That soul doesn't have it. That wrong perception exists in us, and it keeps pulling us, right? So we'll try our best to see how we can cater to all of these things you're talking about in the next 2 classes. It might not go as detailed because what you have shared is a big area, but we will try to cater it in a way so that you're able to see yourself in that clean manner, the way God sees us, right? If you have few seconds, thank you all for sharing and joining us. But if you have a minute, please stay back for a short meditation. My dear Supreme, I was really sleeping until you came and awakened me that you've always been present, that you're always accessible, and so is your love. Your love is always available, but I have to look up to it, have to reach out. If I'm looking for love in human beings, in objects, in work, then your love escapes me, doesn't reach me. Or if I'm being dishonest, then my mind and heart get clouded, and you are truth. All I need is to know that you are the source that never dries up. You are the only source that is unbiased, unconditional, an ocean. You are the only source that wants to give. And I'm that fortunate, lucky soul who's understood it and who's going to fully take advantage and be in your sweet company, so that when I get filled with your love, others can receive it too. Everybody deserves your love. Everybody is worthy of your love. Thank you for being part of my life. Thank you everyone for joining us today at Brahma Kumaris Silicon Valley. Hope you have a wonderful week ahead and hope you keep the Supreme with you all the time. He's ever accessible. Now, thank you for all those comments. Appreciate it. Om Shanti, everyone.